Hi, I'm Rich from New Life Scientific, and today I want to show off our Opera from Evotec, which is now owned by Perkin Elmer. This is a 2007 model. It does have the live cell imaging option on it, which is really nice. The air conditioning unit on the end is what you would notice is the option that would control the humidity, the CO2, and the temperature in the stage area. But I want to start off a little bit over here on the software and just kind of show you the options that this machine actually has, and we'll go through it. Right now we're on the first screen here, and on the first screen is basically showing all your laser and light sources. This particular unit does not have the UV light source, but it does have the LED down here, you can see. But it does have 4 lasers. It has the 488, the 561, the 640, 405, and of course the LED is a 690. And down here on the cameras, you can see it has 3 cameras, and they're all the CC high quality cameras, which are air cooled. But and then I'm going to scroll down a little bit further here, and down here you have all the plate options that are already pre-programmed into the machine. That gives you just a myriad of options there, along with some slide adapter plates that are in there that you could use. And then down here you have all the objectives. Now the objectives that are included with this Opera is the 60 XW, which is the water immersion lens. It also has the 40, which is the water immersion, the 20, which is the water immersion, and 120 air. It does not come with the 10, which you can easily purchase and use, but it does come with 4 objectives. These are your main 4 objectives. And then over here you can just see you have the homing button, and then the liquid on and off over here. This is just particularly for your water immersion lenses. I have it on right now because I am using the 60W, the 60 water. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and scroll back up here. And up here you can see all the tabs that are associated with the software. The configuration tab is the one we're on now. That gives you all the lasers. And actually I'm going to just show you the calibration numbers here. Now I have not calibrated the lasers, and the reason I haven't is because once it's moved into the last position where it needs to be set up, then the calibrations need to be done on the lasers. Right now they're still doing pretty good. They're all at still within perfectly good range, and you can see some of the calibrations here. This is the first laser, and it peaks out fine. But once they're calibrated, these numbers will go up extremely much higher over here. These numbers here are actually, this will go up to more of a 5. This one will go up to more of a 3, and a 3 here, maybe a 2 here. But right now, like I said, until the machine is stabilized, ready to be used, it really doesn't make much sense to calibrate the lasers because they get jolted around again. But like I said, all of them are calibrating fine. Even also with the cameras, once it's set up to align the cameras, is something that would need to be done. And that's something that I offer also for the customers. So I've moved to the microscope view now. So here's our screen. Here's our microplate over here. The area I've got it set up for the adjustment plate from Opera that will allow us to look at some different size beads in it. It's just an adjustment plate over here, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in over here, and right now I'm going to open up the table, and it's going to slide out over here so that I can put my adjustment plate in. And it's just carefully positioning it in there. And this my microplate there has been beat up a little bit because I've used it so many times on our previous machines. So, and then I can put the table all back in, get it ready. So we can come back over to the screen again. Now we've got the adjustment plate in, and basically there's a lot on this screen that we're going to cover real quick. Over here you can see again the lasers. This is actually where you can turn the lasers. They're technically on, but you can actually allow the lasers to come into your sample. Right now I'm only using the first laser, the 488, for demonstration. I can turn them all on, but by turning these lasers on and you don't have the right filter combinations, tends to give you some issues in errors. So the lasers, the filters, the cameras all have to be coordinated so that they correspond with one another. So right now I'm just going to use the 488 laser for an example. So over here you can again see the cameras. On each camera you have multiple filter options that drop down you can pick from. Camera 1 there, you got camera 2, again multiple filters, these are all installed. So you have just a myriad of combinations. Now the camera 3 has only got one filter, there's no changing for it. So it makes it nice, so you can set the filters for each camera, you can capture a different image of the fluorescent, you can overlay the cameras and just get a beautiful picture of the image overlaid with just colors of each camera. And then down here you got some of the diachronic filters. This is your primary. So right now we're just going to use the 405, 488. That'll give us good images on actually all three cameras. So basically I've got the microplate in. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. This is going to be some of the bigger beads. I've got the 60x water immersion objective in, and I've picked this well here. So this square here is actually being represented down here in this here. And down over here we have a zoom in button where we can actually zoom in into that. So we're actually observing this little spot in this big square. So that gives you kind of an idea just how far we're actually going in and looking at. So I can come back down here again and look at my cameras. I'm just going to pick camera number 2 and go live on it. So right now I'm live on camera 2 and I'm not focused. So up here you just have the focus button and you just simply hit the focus and it's going to search for that fluorescent bead in that sample area, and it's going to kind of hone in it, and sometimes you got to fine tune it. There it comes up. So now we're focused and you can see it came right in on him and picked him up. I'm going to just outline a section and bring him up here so we can really look at it. And down here, if you feel like that you can still fine tune the focus a little bit better than the autofocus, you can actually adjust it a little bit right here on the up and down arrows, and you can really hone in. But it did an actually really good job of coming in on about as good as you can do it on the focus. And again, you just got to reach over and hit focus again. It's going to pop back up. But this is camera 2. And we're going to move through the cameras and we're going to look at the camera 3 down here. And you can notice that it's the same image, but it's shifted just a little bit. You can see how this is actually shifted down from camera 2. And that means the cameras aren't quite aligned. And again, for me to take the time to do it until it's actually set up, it's not worth it, because once it's set up and it's ready to be used in the lab setting, then you can set all the lasers, you can set all the cameras and get everything just perfect. But this is also camera 1 now. So we got camera 1, camera 2, and camera 3. So we're looking at the images. And up here is the overlay button, and this is really nice because this is where you're going to overlay your cameras. So if I click on the overlay, it brings up just some of these colors here that you can pick from. Camera 1 is right now is set on red. I can change and I can put camera 2 on red. I can put camera 3 on green. I can put camera 1 on the blue. There, like that. So I got my cameras picked, I got my colors picked, and just click OK. And so now you can actually see the overlay, and you can see the yellow, because when you overlay certain colors, it's actually going to, and I'm going to click on this again, so now we're back to we're not zoomed in anymore, but you can see how the cameras are off a little bit, and you can see how the blue is up here, where that should be perfectly aligned with this. But it's still giving a really nice image. The overlays are doing good. You can actually change the color on the background right here. I can right click on this arrow. If I'm in over here, I can actually change the arrow color, go in here, do a lot of neat things. Same thing on the arrow up on top. I can right click on this, change the arrow color there, and it's just going to pick any colors I want with the white skew. So if I say, hey, I want the white skew red, I just click red and I get it red. So you can do a lot of neat things, produce some really nice images, and make some great pictures. So it's working great. The machine, the lasers, the cameras are just excellent shape. There's a lot more in the software here to lay out your experiments. You can come to the experiment definition tab, and this is where you're going to lay out your predefined experiments. You can pick your layers. Normally, once you find focus point, you're going to pick about 10 to 15 layers above and below that focus point, and then you're going to pick a lot of all the areas down in this around it, so that you can actually piece together bigger images. But just a powerful machine. The only thing that that's not included, and it is an accessory that you can buy from Perkin Elmer, but you can see these 4 red lit up. These are actually computers. There's what they call a bank of CIA computers, and it's a powerful system that would store all your images, and it would actually move all the images through it and make a much faster experiment, because you can process up to 100,000 images a day if you have the bank of computers. Now that's an option that you can easily get from Perkin Elmer. It's more so the software license, and that's something you can get through them. But just to get just the piecemeal images together and get to do experiments, you really don't need it. But if you're doing a massive amount of imaging, then you would want that bank of the CIA computers. So what I want to do now is actually I'm going to go ahead and pull off all the panels so you can see the machine, how nice, and kind of go over the inside. Check out the engine, as it were, on the machine. And the software, like I said, there's a lot more to it, but for this video demonstration, it's more so just to say, hey, this is a great working machine. It's ready, it's turnkey. You can set it up, you can take images instantly, and you can get your experiment going really quick. I'm very knowledgeable on these machines. I can help you out at any time. We have spare parts for this machine. I have spare cameras, spare lasers. What I really like about this machine especially is that all the lasers are easily purchased. They're all coherent. Coherent still makes all these lasers. They make all the power supplies for them. The cameras are still replaceable. So this machine is built to last a long time. German built, just an excellent, beautiful piece of equipment. But I'll be right back. I'm going to pull the panels off and show you what it looks like underneath the hood. All right, you can see I've got the hood open, the panels are off, and now we get a look and check out the engine of this machine. But just a beautiful machine. I'm going to just start right over here. This is just simply a door that comes open here, and contains your waste bottle and your wash fluid, which is just basically water, purified water. And it pumps it from this bottle up into the immersion lenses and brings it waste back down into here. So you just got to always make sure you got water in here and dump your waste. Moving over down here, You can see this is camera number 1 down here, and it's coming through, and you got your motor for your filter wheel on that camera number 1. Inside here, you can see this is the filter wheel here, and this is a diacro filter here, which will hit camera number 2 up there, and then also the servo motor for the diacro filter. Coming over here, you can see the Yokogawa spinning disc. This is what your image, this is what makes your image extremely nice, is this unit right here. This is made in Japan, but it's the Yokogawa. It's one of the nicest spinning disc technologies that's available. They haven't even improved a whole lot on their design other than just being able to control the speed of the spinning disc, but just a super working machine. Up here, we're going to look down inside. You can see, down here, this is actually basically all your lines going to all your objectives for your waste water and your distilled water. So this is the pump here. So this is what is controlling that. And then on up here, again, you got camera number 2 and camera number 3 over here, which are mounted on top going down. Back here is just some of the power supplies for your lasers. The lasers are actually on the back. We'll look at them in a bit. But you can see everything is just, fit in there really nice. The cameras are using fiber optics, so you get some really good images that way. But we're going to move over here where all the magic happens. I got the hood open here. You can see I got the microplate in here. Right now we're using the 60X objective. You can see the water lines and the waste lines all hooked up to these water immersion lenses. Over here you can see the 20X air lens. And like I said, you can just simply unscrew that and put a 10X in it. Like I said, it does not come with this machine, but we're giving you the 20 air and then the 20W, the 40W, and the 60W water immersion lens. In here, this is again a special chamber because it is live cell imaging. What they do is they embed all kind of heaters and sensors built into the chamber, including the lid up here. You can see all the wiring coming in. So they're monitoring the temperature in every area, and on the sides here, on the bottom, everything is being monitored. Over here, you can see the CO2 monitoring sensor here, and below is the humidity sensor. And I did actually change the CO2 sensor because it wasn't working when I got the machine in. So it's working great now, and I'll show you a screenshot of the control software, which I forgot to do earlier, so that you can actually see how you control the chamber area here. But you can see that you have the carousel that holds all of your objectives. You can switch from 4 objectives without changing anything out, which makes it really nice. And you can see that you got the robotic stage here. Now up here is something I didn't mention earlier either, and this is actually a robotic dispensing arm. Now this is an option that Opera offers, where you can actually inject a sample into your microplate as you're viewing it. The problem is that this is not installed. The software is not installed, and it's actually missing parts to the for the injection needle here. You can see it's actually missing the part here. But if you did want to get it operating, you have one of the most expensive parts already installed, and that is the robotic arm. We are not selling it as working. We are not selling it with the software installed. For some reason, it did not have the software installed for the robotic arm when we got it. Apparently, whoever had this machine last disabled it and disinstalled the software for it. But it is still an option that you can get it up and running. Everything is installed. I have basically all the hardware. There are a few pieces missing, but we are not selling it as operating. But anyways, we're going to move around. Down here you can see the laser here for the autofocus. This is where the fiber optic cable is going in for the autofocus. So some of the things. And then, of course, you can see all the extra wiring and everything that's installed for the live cell imaging. This is your air conditioning unit over here. This is just the bottle that holds your distilled water that'll pump humidity into the chamber. It mixes it into the air and then takes it on into the chamber over here. We'll walk on around back here. Like I said, all the lasers are mounted on the back. And this is your biggest laser, the 488 blue laser. And like I said, all of it's made by Coherent. It's a sapphire, so these are still readily available. Up here you have the Coherent cube lasers. So altogether, this machine actually has 5 lasers, but these 2 lasers are exactly the same. And all they're doing is they're combining the beam on both of these lasers. Now that's not always an option on some of the Operas out there. Some of them will only have 1 laser, but this one actually has both the red lasers installed. It combines them, and then down here you can also see your violet laser, so that it's also a Coherent cube laser. And then you have the control cards. But like I said, we have all the spare parts if anything goes wrong with these. I've actually fixed these quite a few times. Probably the weakest link are the fiber optic cables for the, such as this one. This is the autofocus fiber optic cable. You can still order them new from the company in Germany. Actually, I've got one on order for another machine right now. And also the fiber optic cable coming out when your laser combines in behind this panel here, it all comes out into this fiber optic cable right here. This is another weak point. But like I said, it's still available from the company that makes that. So I've talked to them. I can order those also. Just a great working machine. I just want to run you around real quick around to the screen to show you the software for the air conditioning for the live cell imaging and just show you kind of how that works. But I'm going to sneak around here and switch screens real quick. And we're just going to drop this screen down because I've got this one pulled up. Now this is the climate station control software. So it's logging everything down here on a graph. Now you got up here is your actual values, and you can put your set values in here. So right now we are not connected to any CO2, so it's just registering 0. There's 45% relative humidity going on right now, so we can up that or we can decrease it through this window here, and then of course the temperature up here. So it's just a matter of, entering in, what you want, and over here, entering in, say if I want to put in 65, which we definitely wouldn't want that, but I'll put in 30 and hit set. So now the set value is 30, and this will just start slowly working its way up to that. So everything works great. I've tested everything. A few different things down here. You can update intervals and show every 15 minutes. So just a simple graph logging for the live cell imaging, but just a beautiful looking machine. Everything, like I said, works great. If you have any questions about anything, definitely give us a call. I can answer about anything on this machine. And like I said, I do offer also setup on it. I align lasers for it after it's set up, and I also align the cameras and tweak things to get you a really beautiful picture. Again, I'm Rich from New Life Scientific, and I thank you for watching.